Hey, I just wanted to make a video comparing some different details about the shapes of CPK scales. So for starters, just for comparison to a cheap $15 knife, you can get pretty much anywhere. Some more companion. So you see basic camera grip, standard thumb on spine, a little more exaggerated saber, reverse hammer grip or chest lever, ice pick. You can cap your thumb on it if you want to. It's not terribly comfortable. And then forward ice pick. Again, super uncomfortable to cap the handle there. And got a little bit of Coke bottle, but otherwise fairly neutral. And of course, slightly gummy grips. So as far as CPK knives go, first up, EDC. So for hammer grip, that shape, even though it may look a little odd at first, pretty much exactly matches where your fingers go. And again, this shape here may seem a little odd to have this side of it shorter than this side, but that is more or less exactly where your palm meets the knife. So there's only just as much material as there needs to be, nothing more, nothing less. And as far as other grips go, chest lever, you could do it, but that does start to dig in a little bit. Reverse ice pick, that's fine. Capping your thumb might or might not be comfortable, just depending on how long your thumb is. And then forward ice pick, that's a no-go. It's going to dig into your palm. Pinch grip, totally comfortable. These little divots here. Another detail I'll call out about those divots, unlike the DEK, which we're going to see in a second here, these divots are pretty smooth and flat. They don't really extend out much from the handle. So you can choke up really far without it digging into your thumb at all. There is maybe a little bit of a point right there if you somehow got all the way up on top of there, but if it bugs you, pretty straightforward to just knock that down a little bit and it shouldn't affect retention. So overall, like, this is honestly about as good as it gets for hammer grip or, thumb on spine. So DEK, hammer grip, this is what I'm talking about here. If you look at it in this profile, this divot right here extends out further than the rest of the scale. And this is an acute edge here. So if you choke up and put the base of your thumb along that, you're going to notice it. This bugs me. It doesn't bug some other people. I think a lot of people don't even use hammer grip on a knife like this. Just use, this kind of like standard grip. But just, something to be aware of. A more exaggerated saber grip feels fine. There is a pretty noticeable Coke bottle here, so you'll feel it in the palm of your hand there, but it's smooth. This isn't like a, pussy war dog or something terrible like that. Chest lever, reverse hammer, whatever you want to call it, totally fine. Forward ice pick like that, maybe a little bit of contact there, but definitely nowhere near what you get on the EDC. And then reverse ice pick like that, super comfortable. And there's a lot of distance. You should have no trouble capping your thumb on that. And then pinch grip, like, the divots do work. Is it worth it? I don't know. It's up to you. BFK. So this happens to be an FK3, but the BFK is same handle except for, or BFK, sorry, same handle except for this jumping on the spine here. So hammer grip can be totally comfortable. Again, there are divots for pinch grip here, but somewhat similar to the EDC. They're pretty innocuous. They've got a little bit of extension from the sides of the scales, but I mean, you could choke way up there, no problem. Chest lever, great. Reverse ice pick, I mean, reverse ice pick with just the thumb out like this, totally fine. Capping the thumb, again, depends on what your thumbs are like. And then forward ice pick like that, totally fine. As far as the profile from this angle, you've got pretty noticeable Coke bottle swell here. Another thing I guess I'll call out about these grips is you probably can't tell from this angle, but the size of the ball head they use for milling or what have you is leaves more noticeable ridges here. So you've got what feels like a lot more texture in hand compared to something like the EDC. These are both unbuffed micarta, but you can tell just like the size of the milling marks on this is sufficiently smaller. It's going to feel a lot smoother in hand. Other things worth saying here. This is actually overall a fairly rectangular profile knife, by which I mean it doesn't have a huge amount of palm swell in this dimension, which is actually kind of a good thing because if you look at what it would take to rotate the knife, like twist it in your hand under use, this is going to stay really stable. Even if you get caught up on some material up here and the blade wants to lever this way, it's going to be pretty stable there. This kind of, flaring going on down here, it's designed for being able to get a 3-finger grip on the knife like this for chopping. That may seem weird, but it's actually pretty comfortable. Only potential downside of that being if you've got like a really kind of exaggerated saber grip thing going on, you can feel this here in your palm. It's nice and smooth. It's not like obnoxious or a hot spot, but it is noticeable compared to something that's dedicated design for a saber grip. But overall, pretty versatile. Yeah. Then we got the UF2. So this is pretty much excellent for saber grip, right? Like you can really tilt it very much in line with your wrist. Nothing in here is going to bug you. This, if you look at this angle right here, how this is kind of a straight line here. That is, I mean, this is super minor, but that is noticeable in your pinky. Like there's going to be a little gap right here. The Shiv 2.0 scales, I don't own a Shiv, I do own the scales. The scales are bolt hole pattern compatible with the UF2. I don't have them installed and probably get some liners and try it out. But just from playing around with that, the Shiv 2.0 first of all, it's narrower altogether here, and it's also more rounded right there. We can talk more about some differences there in a second, but as far as hammer grip goes, it's still overall pretty comfortable there. It is going to want to rotate a little bit more under torque just by virtue of its, shallower in this dimension. Reverse ice pick, no problem at all, depending on where your hand wants to rest, as far as length of your thumb and whatnot. you may end up in a slightly different position up or down here. The Shiv 2.0 scales, because they have that kind of like, you finger groove, sub hilt, whatever you want to call it there, they do tend to want to be in one specific position for this kind of reverse ice pick grip. So something maybe to think about. Um, Forward ice pick like that, you definitely wouldn't want to cap your thumb there, like it's just pointed in the wrong direction. But you could grip it that way if you wanted to, and then kind of a chest lever situation is no problem. And then as far as the overall profile in this dimension, you can see there's definitely swelling out here, but there's no way that's going to do anything meaningful in terms of bugging your hammer grip, no matter how far you choke up on that. Obviously, because there's no divots here, and because this is a relatively shallow blade in this dimension, pinch grip is not something that's super comfortable. But you can do this kind of like pinch style grip right at the end of the scales here, and that's pretty nice. Or you can do this kind of thing here. I think that's about it.